Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Tommy Robinson, many of you may know who he is. And look, I think the best person to describe what's been happening to Tommy Robinson would obviously be Tommy Robinson himself. You can't really trust the mainstream media and what they say these days. And look, I would love to at one point trust and believe the mainstream media. The reality is you just can't. So I think it would be best if you guys took the time to watch and to listen to the full conversation that Tommy Robinson had. He had two conversations. Both are brilliant, by the way, with Jordan Peterson and Jordan's wife, Tammy Peterson. Now, those two individuals, Jordan and Tammy Peterson, are taking a huge risk. Why? Well, the mainstream media, including the police in the UK, don't really like Tommy Robinson that much. Why don't they like him? Well, because he stands for the truth. And these days, the truth can get you in jail. It can get you in a great deal of hurt. And, well, you can't really stand for the truth because these days, a lot of the mainstream media don't like you sharing the truth because the truth for them hurts quite considerably. It gets in the way of them making money. And if you are anti-establishment, they can't control you as much as they will try to control you. What's going on in America at the moment with Kamala Harris being the front runner for president of the United States of the Democratic Party? She is very much controllable. Tulsi Gabbard, on the other hand, not so much controllable. Tim Walz, very much controllable. You have a lot of these people that behind the scenes, you don't really get to see their faces, but they do a lot of the controlling. They do a lot of the decision making. The ones that are up in front, you really thought that Biden was running the country? Goodness me, the guy can't even put two sentences together, and yet the mainstream media and everybody else would love you to believe that Biden was the one that was running the show. Yeah, right. I'm a little bit smarter than that. Thank you very much. And look, Tommy Robinson, the mainstream media would love you to believe that he is a far-right activist and he's dangerous. I don't believe that for 1 second, especially when the mainstream media says it. Just because the mainstream media says something doesn't make it true. In fact, they seemingly these days do a lot of these attack articles and clickbait articles so they can get paid. So they can also continue with this narrative that is rather dystopian and rather Orwellian, if you ask me. I made a video the other day about George Orwell, 1984, and how accurate it is to what's going on today. You cannot trust the mainstream media. They will gaslight you into living oblivion. And when you actually hear the truth, you're going, whoa, that's freeing, isn't it? That is incredible. I love this truth. I want more of it, please. And look, people of London or England, a lot of them, the citizens of England, have had enough. They've had enough of mass immigration. They can't afford housing, for goodness sake. Because guess what? The illegal immigrants, or the ones that have been let into the country illegally, they take precedent. Because the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, this is his London or his UK, for example. He wants more immigrants in the country. And the actual UK citizens, they're left to suffer. They're left to go, what's going on? We can't afford anything. We can't afford our housing. We're on the streets. And yet, if we want to speak up about it, we get arrested and charged. So the cops are in the pocket of the UK government. I know this is like, many of you guys may be going, oh, Jay, you're probably going to get in trouble for saying this. And more than likely I will. It's just the reality of the world that we're living in now. You can't have freedom of speech. You're not allowed to speak your mind. You're not allowed to talk about the truth because that is perceived to be, quote, hateful. It's like we're not even adults anymore because adults can't even handle the truth. How about that? It is only perceived if you go a one specific direction. Where's that? Left. You can't go right. And I get it. If you want to go too far right, you end up in a great deal of hurt. You end up in conspiracy land. But also, if you go too far left, you end up being a crack job. So what in the world do? You can't be a fence sitter these days. You can't look at both sides and go, all right, I'm on the side of truth. Where is the truth here? Because you know what? The truth gets lost. Gets lost in all this noise. Don't know if you guys have actually noticed that, but one of the reasons why I appreciate and I like Tommy Robinson and his approach is because he's actually speaking the truth. He's this no bullcrap, no nonsense individual that doesn't beat around the bush. He actually goes through the bush, and you can actually tell the guy actually cares. The guy cares about the people. The guy cares about the children. The guy cares about, fundamentally, the truth. And that's why I think many of you watching this should get on board with Tommy Robinson. But Piers Morgan, who's part of the media, doesn't like Tommy Robinson. But yeah, he's more than happy to platform the likes of Andrew Tate, who is currently under investigation for trafficking children and for R-wording children, minors, and the like. I don't trust Andrew Tate at all. Just because Andrew Tate says this is all part of the matrix, it's all part of the establishment media, etc., doesn't make it true. Just because you say something loud enough and long enough doesn't mean that it's the case. Someone like Tommy Robinson, for example, very different, very stark difference. I can see. The man is going through an enormous amount of backlash because he is standing for the truth. The mainstream media, on the other hand, would love you to believe that he's a far-right activist and he's anti-Muslim and all that other garbage that they throw out into the mix. What he really is, and he's actually stated this many times, that he's not anti-Muslim. He's anti-Muslims attacking UK citizens. He's anti-Sharia law. Because if you are in a democratic society, you do not, and you are an immigrant, you do not have the right to bring your law into our country and to make it the dominant law. Sorry, that's not going to work. That's not going to fly. And secondly, you're an immigrant here. You do not have first precedent. Doesn't work like that. What Tommy Robinson is pointing out, like many people should actually pay attention to, is how the Muslims are treated versus how regular, everyday UK citizens are treated. Stark difference. We saw a video of a police officer kicking a Muslim man in the head. Now, this was at the airport, right? We didn't see the full context of that video. We only saw a small snippet. The Muslims started to jump up and down, rant and rave, and riot. Now, when we saw the full context of that video, what ended up taking place? Well, several cops were beaten first. The Muslims started it, and the cop did the right thing. But no, the legacy media, the mainstream media, wanted you to believe that it was the fault of the cop. And so they told the Muslims, and guess what the Muslims did? They rioted. The cops didn't arrest any of them. And the ones that actually were at fault, they got released. And they opened up a criminal investigation into the cop that kicked the Muslim man in the head. So that kind of difference compared to the likes of a woman, a grandma that was looking after her husband that is in need of his wife, she said a social media post that the law deemed as being hateful. She got jailed for a long period of time. I think she got 18 months. Stark difference. This is Keir Starmer's England, ladies and gentlemen. Freedom of speech is under attack in the Western world. Brazil, at the moment, just got rid of X and will fine anyone using a VPN, which I find interesting because how do you know they're using a VPN to access? It would go like if you're saying VPN, they don't know where you are. It's like, how are you going to know they're using a VPN, mate? So that's, to me, rather interesting all the same, because if they do end up finding you out, it just goes to show you the VPNs are not what they claim that they are. So how about that, right? They claim certain things like government and law. They won't be able to track you. They won't be able to find where you are, etc. But nevertheless, they end up finding you. So what's going on there, VPN? So Brazil, they took Elon Musk to court. Elon lost because the czar, the judge, hates freedom of speech. He hates Elon Musk. And again, I'll say it. The judge is forgetting, along with Keir Starmer and many others, that we're all adults here. We're supposed to be mature adults. We're supposed to be able to handle things that kids don't or should not see. We're not kids, but they're treating us like little children. Now, it's amazing to me, once again, that Piers Morgan has accused Tommy Robinson for inciting a lot of the violence that took place after the children were killed. And even though Tommy Robinson has never said anything, he's never incited any violence, and he had one of the most peaceful protests in the UK. Why? Because he had men make sure that if anyone rocked up with their face covered, that they would be asked why they're there, what's their intention, and if they didn't uncover their faces with the masks, they would be kicked out. Now, also the BBC did a reporting, which I saw, and if you didn't see this, you definitely should go and see it. Thanks to Elon Musk, we wouldn't have been able to see it, but because of Elon Musk's freedom of speech platform, we're able to watch it. So BBC reporters reporting in the street, and look what happens. You have these Muslim men with knives and balaclavas walking right past her. And she's talking about how the far right are to blame. The far right are guilty. So strange how you've got no far right people in the actual video that you're making, but yet in the background, you've got a lot of Muslim people with knives and machetes and balaclavas walking and bats walking right past you. And even there's another video clip, similar example. Muslim men rock up and try and interrupt the interview. Free Palestine and all that nonsense that goes on with it. So you've got this stark message from the mainstream media versus the actual reality. They're trying to gaslight each and every one of us into believing that the mainstream media is right and Tommy Robinson is a hateful individual. He hates Muslims. He hates the UK. And so we're going to charge him accordingly. We're going to make it so that Tommy Robinson is the bane of existence because he's standing up for the truth. So the problem is, though, it's according to Tommy Robinson, this is from the Jordan Peterson interview recently, he said that you're going to make martyrs. The more you crack down, exactly what they're doing to Donald Trump, have you know, the more you crack down on a person like this, the more you're going to make a martyr. The more they're going to stand up and they're going to fight with their words. Now, what happens with Tommy Robinson going out in the street? He's going to be confronted with a lot of people. Because a lot of people know who he is, thanks to the mainstream media, and they painted him in a very dangerous and dark point of view. But I don't see it like that. But what happens when Tommy Robinson is confronted by quite seemingly an angry and aggressive Muslim at what seems to be a shop? Watch for yourself what happens.
What said that annoyed you?
No, just
Just give me one thing.
You need to put my people down. Come on.
You know what I mean. Just give me an example
There's something.
that I've actually said.
So many.
Just give me one. Give me one.
But
Give me one example. Because it's mate, if you've been upset with me, you must know why.
No, it's
like
too
what?
many.
Like what, bro?
About my people.
Like what? Explain it.
I'm not supposed to be here. That's why.
I've never said that.
Yeah.
That's a lie. I've never said that.
Yes, yes.
No, I haven't. I've never said that.
Yeah.
I've never said that.
I've said it and I've heard it.
I have a problem with men raping young kids. So you're not upset about that. So tell me what I've said that you've touched.
Stuff about my people.
Like what?
About Muslims.
What have I said? What have I said? About Pakistani people, I've said that they're overrepresented in young kids in this country. Massive.
That's the problem.
90% of convictions are Pakistani Muslim men. 90%. 90%. That's a fact. 9%.
That sterling part is
Tell me the truth ain't sterling, but
no. We're all on the truth.
Okay, so what should we have done? What should I have done? Ignored all these gangs? Should I ignore the 40,000 terrorists on watch list?
The people.
Everyone's trying to sort out these. How, when by talking about it, offends ordinary Muslims like you?
You know what?
White girls are getting kidnapped in every
You're
town.
from Luton, yeah? You know what time it is. You know exactly
What time is it? You come up to me and say, I want you to leave. Never said it.
You said a lot.
No, I've spoken honestly. I've told the truth about an ideology. I've told the truth about things that are in the book. And I've told the truth about problems in towns and cities. That doesn't mean I hate you as an individual.
Message better.
That's
I
hard.
want to put you, because obviously you're on the field, I want to put you definitely on notice. if I wanted to smash you, if I saw cameras, I would.
What are you talking about? What are you going?
I would have done so. I would have done so.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying
it wouldn't happen, bro. It wouldn't happen.
I'm just saying
It wouldn't happen.
It would have.
It wouldn't happen.
Believe me.
Why are you really looking at it?
The reason why I come in is because when you
give it daggers. You give it daggers.
1 minute.
Hold on.
When you nodded at me, when you showed me, you nodded at me,
Yeah.
and I thought to myself,
Mate, try and smash me.
as a
Try and
man,
smash me.
as a
You've
man,
come in here. Try and
as a
smash me.
man,
Try and smash me.
I'm gonna come in.
So you come in. You come in. I don't have a problem. Why say you need my food? You've come in.
1 minute. Yeah. I said,
Well, don't come in and talk shit saying yes. If I want to, I'll smash you. Don't say anything. Unless you're going to do it. Unless you're going to do it. Unless you're going to do it.
You're the one that's
Oh, you're going to do it. Unless you're going to do it.
you're the one that's making the scene.
Yeah, unless you're going to do it, because I'm fed up of f***ing idiots like you think I'm being intimidated by you, bro. I'm not intimidated by you. I'm not intimidated by you. I don't give a f***.
That's your tummy.
As I told you, as soon as you walked over here, you was going to do something. I've got to do it then, bro. Do it then.
That's stirring what you do.
What's stirring? It's fact your arse went off. Your arse went f***.
Yeah. That's stirring. That's what you're about. Tell me. That's
See you
what you're
later.
about. You just know
You ain't going to smash no one. No one's going to smash me. Not on your own, you won't. No, you won't. If there's number 3 of you, you won't.
I know why you active,
Not on your own, you won't.
You know why you
Not on your own.
just keep stirring.
Not on your own. You're a coward, mate. That's how it
There's a lot there, right? So obviously this Muslim man comes in and accuses Tommy Robinson of certain things, obviously the points from the mainstream media. So he's obviously a sheep that watches the mainstream media. And look, if the mainstream media wants to paint you in a particular light, they will do just that. If it wants to be a negative light, they will do just that. They could do the same thing with me if they wanted to. If they want to create a narrative, they can quite easily do it. And look, because a lot of people still today trust what the mainstream media says, they will follow along with what the mainstream media says. So what this Muslim man was doing was pointing out certain falsehoods that the mainstream media have also reported on falsely. So you can't tell the truth nowadays, the mainstream media. What is that? They don't even know what the hell the truth is. They want to spin it to make someone look like they're to blame. And you got problems like this, Tommy Robinson being confronted in public by a rather aggressive Muslim man that wanted to, camera wasn't rolling according to him, but even though the camera was rolling, he stated a threat to Tommy saying he's going to bash him. He's going to drop him or something equivalent to that. And Tommy's just like getting really defensive going, do it, bruv. Like, that's one of the things I love about Tommy. He's just not afraid to back down. Like, don't come and scream falsehoods at me and then tell me you're going to bash me and not do it. Like, that's a false threat. Honestly, it is disgusting and it's despicable stuff. So they wouldn't do this to Andrew Tate, by the way, because why? Andrew Tate claims to be a Muslim now. Andrew Tate claims to have converted to Islam. So Tommy Robinson has not said at all that Muslims shouldn't be in the UK. What he's sick and tired of, and what I have alluded to before in this video, is that you cannot be in this country and not follow the rules. Doesn't work like that. You can't be in this country and go around R-wording innocent young girls and then getting away with it. Doesn't work. Should not work. Young girls should be able to walk peacefully down their street and not have to worry about seeing a Muslim man and getting afraid, because that person's religion dictates that they must do that to a young girl, or that they hate white people. They call us infidels, right? I'm not saying that's all of them. I'm saying it's a certain majority of them. Could be a minority, but it seems like it's a majority at the moment. Tommy Robinson pointed out a statistic, 90% that are arrested, that are charged with R-wording young kids or stabbing young children. Like, that is a problem. There was a video that I saw the other day, just finishing up on this, right? A man was walking down the street with his wife and his child and his dog. And then a group of, I think it was black kids, that's what it was. Okay, I'm just pointing to the fact, not being racist here. Group of black kids, one of them had a knife and he stabs the white man several times in the neck. It's quite a horrific video to see, right? The man is on the ground, eventually, bleeding out. And then these guys that stabbed him, they're laughing. That's what's going on. Not just in the UK, here in Australia too. Scary stuff. And my friends, thank you all so much for watching this far in. You guys take care. You be blessed. And I'll see you all in the next video.